After doing my trades in pre-market, I went back to look at a couple of folks who were trading in the open market, and I noticed something interesting. ENTO is a stock that at the open shot up to 78 cents, and then it came back down. Now I traded this stock and made a little bit of money in pre-market, but I knew I wasn't going to trade it in the open market, and here's why. So I've drawn a channel here in this blue rectangular area of where I thought this stock had major resistance. So it was between 60 and 67 to me. So even with a news catalyst, I felt that this stock did not have the volume in pre-market, and maybe not even in the open market, to push beyond the 67 cents. And in the open market, it was going to be a little bit more difficult because it was going to be competing against other stocks. In the pre-market, there wasn't that much of a competition, and so the move up was easy. And even though this doesn't look like heavy resistance for this stock, it is because of those conditions in the open market. Now, I had marked up a line here at 75 cents, which is where I thought was the maximum that this stock could go. And sure enough, it did hit that after the open. But if you were going to trade this, you had to do it at the open, and you had to be quick because that was a huge drop. Take at the 3-minute there. And here's the open, and here's where I traded it, above 60 to 65 cents right here. And this is where I made a little bit of money. And then it started to sell off, and I lost interest precisely because that large sell-off meant to me that it wasn't going to go anywhere. But strangely enough, it did have, look at that long tail, divided, buyers are divided, and it does go up, but then it falls right again. And this time it's just headed down. And at this time, it continues to consolidate down here in this bottom channel, which means it's going to consolidate down here, probably above 52 cents, for quite a while before it thinks about heading upwards again. And my expectation would be that once it comes back up again, it's going to hit that 200 EMA and fall back down before it can go up. So the stock doesn't have the strength. And today it had news. But onto what I really want to talk about is in the open market, I saw a couple of folks who were trading it right here at 68 cents, hoping to get the stock to move upwards. And this speaks to the importance of being able to do your research, being on time to the market, and being able to look at the daily chart. Because if those folks had done exactly what I did, they would have known that, at least I knew, that this stock was not going to go over 68 cents. There was just no way that I saw this stock going beyond 68 cents consistently. So with the market, the conditions, it's August, the August downturn is in full effect. There was no way that this stock was going to go higher, up to $1, if that's what folks were thinking, or up to 90 cents. And I did have another line up at the top, thinking that it could go higher, but it just wasn't there. So it's important for all of you to go in, take some time, map out the channels, the support, the resistance, and on the stocks that you are looking at to trade for that day, so that you are very aware of where not to go in. So to me, even at the open, even if it was moving, I wasn't going to trade it. I knew that it had a stoppage around upwards of 75 cents and that this could potentially happen. Big wicks, you see that? It just, there's nothing up there to hold it. It was just going to fall back down. The other stock was EQ, and I made the same mistake. I've drawn 3 channels here, current, and this is the daily. So down here, well, let's start over here. So it starts to move up, goes beyond, but it sells off. And not only hits that first channel, but it hits that second channel down here and consolidates and even falls below that. Comes back up and is trying to stay and consolidate up here into a single channel, and it can't. It fell back down. So now it stays down here. And finally, it starts to pick up steam. This was, what, on the 1st? On August the 1st, it picked up some steam and moved up, but it couldn't hold it. Look at that long wick. That's huge. From 71 cents to $1.35. So we could guess that it might do the same thing again, and it sure did. Again, down here, right? 45 cents all the way to $1.24. But drawing your channels and drawing your lines of support and resistance helps you to understand that there are areas where you need to respect that the price is not going to go higher and that the price could always fall lower. This is the daily from the 1st until now. There's a tail wick up here, top tail wick. This red candle engulfs this green one, and then you got another red candle. And then all of a sudden you got to jump. Look at the 5-minute on here. This chart looks a little cleaner, but nevertheless, it goes up and then it sells off. So if you were right at the market open and you took a position, it depends on how quick you were, because more than likely it was going to fall and you were going to lose. There's a nice green candle here with a hope, long tail wick at the top, and then falls back down again. And drawing these channels lets you see exactly where the stock is going to pull back to and if it has an opportunity to move up. These were penny stocks, and it didn't appear that they had the strength to stay and move up 1 or 2 channels higher. And obviously now it's just sitting here. I'm live, by the way, but it's just sitting here. And I trade on the 1 minute. And I also traded this stock pre-market. And I lost $5. I got taken out right here and then jumped back in with 300 shares right here. I got taken out right here, jumped in with 300 shares and rode it up to here and made back 20 of the $26 I had lost. I also was not going to trade this. So downward turn, but there probably wasn't anything else. The fact that they're penny stocks, they're attractive for people, so people jump in. But look at that. That's a huge drop. Curls back up again, and it does the same thing again. Curls back up again, and now it's just consolidating and sitting there. And now at the 1 minute, the channel is different up here, but it can't hold it, and it falls back down. And so now we're all the way down to here. So that's a totally different channel. So it's important that you guys look at a stock and understand where it's at. Now, one of the issues is you may be looking at a stock and you're looking at your watch list and the stock comes up all of a sudden with no notice, and there's very little opportunity for you to make a decision whether to go in or not. So if you have multiple monitors or if you have space on your monitor, keep the daily chart nearby so that you can at least glance. With practice, if you draw these out, with practice, you will train your eyes to see where these channels and these resistance levels are at, and then just be able to glance at it on a quick basis before making a decision to jump in or jump out. I hope that helps you guys, and yeah, reduces your losses. Have a great day.